Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian. I'm here today at the Rock Island Auction Company, taking a look at some of the guns that they are going to be selling in their upcoming September of 2016 premiere auction. And we have two guns here to look at today. Now, this one in the back is a ZH-29, a really cool early Czech semi-auto military rifle. And the one in the front is a Czech ZH-37, which is substantively the same gun, but with a number of changes made by at the request of the Czech military. Now, I've done a couple of videos actually before on the ZH-29, so I'm not going to get into all of the internals and everything on this. If you want to see that, I suggest you check out the previous videos. What I want to do on this video is touch on two specific things. First off, this is actually a marked Ethiopian contract ZH-29, which is pretty cool. There were only two countries that actually bought significant or non-trivial numbers of ZH-29s. China was one. China bought, I believe, 500 of them, and Ethiopia was the other. And Ethiopia, my understanding, is bought 200 to 300, somewhere in that realm. This one is numbered 80 on the buttstock. And so there's some markings here that I want to take a look at. And then secondly, the ZH-37 is internally and mechanically the exact same gun, but it's got a number of different features on it. The bolt handle changed, the safety changed, and these really look like the changes that were made by a kind of persnickety and maybe one would say obnoxious military trials process. So a lot of very small things, nitpicky things that the Army came back and said, well, we don't like that exact feature, we want you to change it from that to this. And so then the Brno factory would make the changes and the rifle would go through another round of testing, and they'd probably come up with some other minor tweaks that they wanted made. Now, ultimately, this rifle didn't get adopted in large numbers by anybody, in part because of it was an early design and it had some flaws to it. Primarily, its side tilting bolt wasn't, as far as I can tell, wasn't that great for accuracy in general. That was probably one of the shortcomings of the ZH-29. It was also a very expensive rifle to manufacture. If you watch the other video, you'll see just how intricate and complex these things are inside. They're quite remarkable. However, they went through Czech military testing for like 8 years. Originally, well, obviously in 1929 to begin with, but then the Czechs tested these things through 1937 or 38, along with other rifles. And this particular one is marked Z-37. It has a 1937 military proof mark on it. So this is one of the latest of the modified versions. So it's interesting to take a look at what changes they did make. That can maybe give us some insight into what the Czech military was looking for and what they thought were the shortcomings. So the most substantive change, I think, is the safety. On the original ZH-29, the safety is right here in front of the trigger. You have a 1 for semi-auto and a 0 for safe. And on the 37, they moved that to the back of the receiver. So on this guy, we have still a 90-degree throw, but it's this rotating lever on the back. It's also interesting to note that on both of these, the 29 and the 37, when you engage this lever, what you do is position it over the marking that you want to use. So if I want to fire single shots, I put the lever over the number 1. Now all I can see is the 0, but this is the fire position. On other styles of guns, sometimes you get the exact opposite, where you want to see the marking for the condition that you want to use. Now, we also have a difference in the bolt handles. On the original ZH-29, they had this round handle. On the ZH-37, they switched to a hooked handle. No functional difference between the two, just a different shape. We also have some slight changes to the front sight. The profile here has changed. The shape of this bayonet lug piece has changed. In fact, what happened here was on the original ZH-29, the bayonet lug is actually connected to this main gas block component. It comes out here and has a bayonet lug. On the 37, the gas block ends there. That's pinned onto the barrel by that pin. And then the bayonet lug and front sight are their own independent piece pinned on here. Now, it also looks like the threaded portion, the threaded front piece is missing here, although it's possible that this was simply discarded because this piece is now pinned on. But on the original ZH-29s, this front section right here is threaded, and it's what keeps all the rest of the components tight on the barrel. A little bit of a change in the front sight shape as well, but that's pretty trivial. Now lastly, one change I really can't show you on camera, but I can just tell you about, is that the 37 is a heavier gun. It feels like they made the barrel profile heavier, primarily underneath the handguards. I don't have a scale handy to actually measure them, but this is definitely a chunkier gun than the original 29. So that may have been an attempt to improve accuracy by increasing the barrel thickness, or it may have been something else entirely. I'm not sure. All right, now the second part of this video will be a little bit shorter. This ZH-29 is an Ethiopian contract gun, and we know that primarily from this Ethiopian crest on the side. That is the Lion of Judah. It's a lion with a crown holding a banner, which you'll see in Ethiopian flags and other insignia as well. And we have that repeated on the back of the rifle. Here on the buttstock, we have that same lion, although it's a little harder to see what it is here. And then we have a stock number of 0080. Now, my understanding is that the Ethiopians only ordered a couple hundred of these rifles. The fact that they gave it a 4-digit number suggests that maybe, I don't think they actually got 1,000, but maybe they plan to order 1,000 or several thousand. Fewer than 10, I suppose. But I think they may have intended to place an order for more guns than they actually ended up buying or getting. I should also point out that this is not the serial number of the gun. The serial number is marked on the internal parts differently. It's serial number 52 on the inside. And that's not necessarily uncommon. The idea that the factory would supply a batch of guns with internal serial numbers, and then as they were basically pulled out of the crates, inspected, and approved for military use, they would then be stamped with the receiving country's military issue numbers. Danish Bergmann 1910 pistols are like that. They've got a serial number and a Danish acceptance number, and the two really have nothing to do with each other. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. A couple things to point out here. The Ethiopian rifle here has a 20-round magazine in it. That is actually a German World War II ZB-26 magazine. The ZB-26 light machine gun used the exact same magazines as the ZH-29 rifles, so they're interchangeable. The rifles typically had 10-round magazines. The machine guns typically had 20. So someone's put a 20-rounder in here, which I'm not going to object to. That's kind of cool. But that's what comes with it. Of course, both of these rifles are coming up for sale at Rock Island in September. So if you're interested in owning one or both of them, take a look at the description text below here. You'll find links there to the catalog pages on both the guns. You can check out Rock Island's pictures and their descriptions, and if you are interested in them, place bids over the phone, online, or right here in person at Rock Island. Thanks for watching. All right, a quick bit of bonus content for you guys who are interested enough to still be around after the credits. This is a 20-round ZB-26 magazine, which was included with the ZH-29 in this video. And then this is the 10-round magazine from the ZH-37 rifle. So a couple of differences here that we can see. If you just look at the outside, you can see that the rib pattern is different. If we look on the back, you'll notice that the locking lugs are different. On the 10-round rifle magazine, this is actually a machined catch, and on the machine gun magazine, it's a stamped feature. So it gives you an idea how to tell the two apart. Now, of course, most ZB-26 magazines are going to have either Czech markings or, in this case, a German Waffenamt. This was a wartime produced and accepted magazine for a machine gun. Technically should not be in the rifle, but they do interchange. We can see a couple little differences there on the front catch of the magazine as well. This is the 10-rounder on top, the machine gun mag on the bottom, and that's pretty much identical. And our followers there are pretty much identical as well, just some really minor differences. But so if I were trying to identify whether something was a ZB-26 magazine or a ZH-29 rifle magazine, I would look at the rear catch there, and then of course the pattern of the reinforcing ribs. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you staying around after the end.